Hello and welcome to Fish on Northwest. We're in Tommy Dunlin.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
9 feet out behind me right now, so put your stopper up there on your mono.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a slow grind in the morning, you know, and that happens sometimes.
When you present it, you're sweeping it over an area. Now, when you get these big, wide areas,
yeah, those are the new Columbia River pop from McKay crab and shrimp here.
There we go.
Yes, indeed.
Nicely done, buddy.
That's a beautiful fish, Dwayne. Nicely done.
Thanks for rolling me into him, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Hello and welcome to Fish on Northwest. Waiting on Tommy Donlin and in studio guest, first time, Tommy, Rick Guerrero.
That's right.
People in medicine. Welcome, my friend.
Hey, thank you very much, Dwayne. Tommy.
Yeah, good
Appreciate
to see you. Glad you could make the drive down, and we're going to get into what you got going on, all sitting right there in front of you. And you know, you and I've been friends for a long time.
Yes, we have.
And we've been talking about this, and now we finally got you to get down here in the studio, and we're gonna give it its due diligence.
Excellent.
Cover what you got going on. So I want to welcome everybody to the program today. Lots of content to get through. Tommy, it's been another week already, believe it or not.
I
And
know.
it's
Alvin's
kind
going to be here before we know it.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
You jumped right to hell.
I do. That's where my mind
You should-
goes. It's like the next saltwater season, baby.
Anything you want to talk about tuna before we get underway here? Or?
Well, yeah, we could take the whole show
We
and
ain't
talk
got
to
time. We ain't got time
okay.
for tuna.
Okay.
It ain't tuna time now, Tommy. Anyway, you know, I believe last week when we left studio, we were on the fast track to head up north, put a day or two in on the Skagit Sock.
Yeah, yeah.
Talked with Nick. Fishing had slowed down a bit. Weather wasn't going to be exactly prime. We've kind of bumped that to mid-April, which is like a great option.
Yep.
Like that is really when you want to be there, and it fit within everybody's schedule. So we are rebooked, ready to go. We're gonna look forward to that down the road. So I'm kind of excited to really do that mid-April again.
Yeah.
Me and Herzog and Jordan would be filming.
Well, you made
course.
the best of it, my friend.
Yeah. Oh yes.
We did. We're gonna get into that.
So we kind of we were like, well, you know, and I check weather, check wind, like we should, and. Holy cow, we have an opportunity here Tuesday morning up until about 1 o'clock when the weather rolls in and the tide's going to drain out. We can't get the boat out. Here's the plan. And we're going to bring that all to you later on in the show. But my gosh, it was cold. 29 when I got up.
Was it really?
It was raining the night before, so everything was encased in ice on the boat.
Oh, wow.
In the driveway, I put the little buddy heater in the cabin just to warm the windows up enough to scrape them clean, wipe them down. Visibility is kind of important. So warmed up the boat with the little buddy heater and got all the ice melting off the cabin and stuff. And then, 7-minute drive to the marina and we were off and running. But we'll get into that as we move along. Now, a lot of content getting pushed around social media as of late as it relates to California sea lions, pinnipeds in general. There's some videos popping around the abundance of sea lions down there at the mouth of the Cowlitz River on the Columbia. Now, you're 70 miles from saltwater. And we checked. Just want to make sure. 68 if you want to really dial it in. But we're saying 70 miles from saltwater. That brings us our peak outdoor moment of the week. Well, there you go, peak outdoor moment of the week. That kind of gives you a little gauge on as to what is going on. Now, that's just one spot, guys.
Yeah.
That's the mouth of the Cowlitz River. All them California sea lions and some stellars and whatever else is in there chasing the smelt up the Columbia into the Cowlitz River right now.
Yeah. And just to be clear,
this is a new phenomenon. This has not been going on for decades and decades and decades,
Mhm.
right?
No.
This is something that's absolutely changed in our environment.
We were talking about it back when I was doing radio in 2015, 2016, the impact it was having on fisheries in the Columbia River. Tommy, you and I later in the show, we're going to get into that.
Yep.
We're going to get into that. Speaking of which, we're going to get to it right now. Running down the show. Rick Guerrero, as I introduced, is here in studio, creator and owner of People of the Medicine. What is it and how can you benefit? You're going to want to pay attention. We're going to let you know and answer all your questions. Then we're welcoming to the program, Bernie Cross, real-time fishing, Columbia River Walleye, night fishing for now, daytime fishing transition coming up. What's the difference? Bernie's going to break it all down for us. And then south, Puget Sound Blackmouth, Area 13. First blood in the boat, Tommy, finally in 2025, the 2025 Allied Mustang 23 HT, parts 1 and 2. I think you're going to enjoy this. We had a pretty phenomenal little morning out there. Then, as we mentioned, the California Sea Lion takeover, reactions, and science versus emotions. We're going to get into this discussion, Tommy, because it's really kind of becoming one of my pet peeves. Then we'll have some announcements, and we'll close out the show. So jumping out for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in studio right here with Rick Guerrero right after this. Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
I make my living catching fish, not only as a tournament angler, but as a guide as well. Catching fish is important, and Gamakatsu hooks for me, you know, they kind of help take the luck out of fishing a little bit just because they're a high quality hook. Obviously have a really good reputation for being very strong and very sharp. Gamakatsu, I use their products every day in the boat and, you know, big part of my success.
All right, welcome back. In studio guest here, Rick Guerrero, People of the Medicine. So you got some products right there in front of you, Rick. This is all about health and wellness.
Absolutely.
Tommy and I are pretty much into health and wellness and working out and trying to take care of ourselves. You know, I'm 13 months away from being 60, believe it or not. It's like, you know, really got to get back into the routine here. You've introduced me to a few of your products. Exactly what is it and how to get started?
Well, People of the Medicine came about when I was working with native agronomics. So we were already working in the cannabis arena, helping with the tribes doing some of the, you know, security equipment in their in their product in their retails. Then it came about the 2018 Farm Bill allowed us to go ahead and move forward with what we know as CBD, as long as it was extracted from hemp and it only carried under the 0.03% THC level.
So extracted from hemp versus marijuana. There is a difference.
There
in
is.
the plant,
I never realized
right?
that.
Yeah, in the actual plant. There is a difference, correct?
There's a total difference.
Okay.
They look the same. They grow the same.
Yep.
Hemp is a CBD dominant type plant. Marijuana is where you get your THC. So we started looking at different grow operations, you know, and unfortunately in the state of Washington, there are not a lot of hemp grows. There were a couple over in Eastern Washington that failed miserably. So we went down to Oregon and looked at some grows down in Oregon. Ultimately, we picked growers out of Colorado because they're 15 years ahead of everybody in growing hemp.
Okay.
So
it kind of started the company.
It really started the company.
Okay.
And what we did is we took some of the product and we started toying around with, you know, what is going to make sense to the public out there.
Yeah.
The first thing we brought out was gummies.
Yeah.
And our berry flavored and citrus flavored gummies were a complete hit and a success. Then we started trying them out with our family, friends, a couple of buddies of mine. You met Dave Aniho.
Oh, yeah.
Veteran himself. This guy got completely off of any opiates that he was using
for pain relief.
From pain relief. by just CBD.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
That is excellent.
Yeah. So there's obviously a lot behind that wall of science, but I mean, nothing speaks volumes more than the results that you're seeing from these individuals. So tell us, like, how, who all's involved with your company, and you got all these series of products we're going to talk about. How you got retail outlets. How widespread do you have your product now?
So we do have retail outlets. We've got 12 of them. You can find those on our website. Just go to peopleofthemedicine.earth and you'll see our retail outlets.
Perfect.
We also have our online store now too.
Yeah.
Our online store, we've made sure the prices are the same as the retail outlet. And if you look at it, like, for instance, our lotion, $40 for lotion. If you go down into Seattle and Pikes Place Market, you'll find half of that same bottle of lotion with 1,500 milligrams. We have over 2,000.
Yeah.
Down there, they're selling it for $75. We sell this for $40 online.
So you have a higher dose in most of your products than what you're going to find elsewhere. Higher percentage
Yes.
of CBD, I guess we need to define, right?
Yep.
And yet you're getting it at a much reduced price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So wife and I got into this and we decided to throw a couple of dollars on it. And when we did invest, we also made sure that we could offer it back to the people at a reasonable price.
Yeah.
If we went ahead and offered a gummy bottle for $55, $60, well, guess what? We're no better than Big Pharma.
Sure.
So we decided to throw a couple of dollars at it. I bring up the wife because she is really the brains about the dollars and the money and where it goes. So
Yeah.
and total appreciation.
Same for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, for you as well.
Yeah, I'd say amongst what we all got going on, they're our better halves of the brains and the looks. I mean, we're just a bunch of dumb, fishermen.
I want to
so.
say the interesting thing about CBD in particular, there's a lot of different cannabinoids, but the thing about CBD in particular is the anti-inflammatory aspect of it. I think when most people think like, oh, I have inflammation in my knee, like you have, your shoulder problem, right? I think in the average American, the first thing that comes into your mind is like, well, I'm going to go get an ibuprofen, right?
Yeah.
But when you take an ibuprofen, you're destroying your gut microbiome,
Yep.
right? All of that probiotic and prebiotic that you've generated over days and days and months is now gone, right? And that doesn't happen with CBD. And so I think that's one of the cool things about this and pushing this. It's not your mainstream big pharma avenue to fight inflammation.
That's probably one of the big reasons why it was taken away back in 1969.
Yeah.
And made illegal.
Yeah.
One of the things that everybody has is what's called an endocannabinoid system. So we have this, and we have cannabinoid receptors 1 and 2 that handles pain. It works with our neurons in our brain. It works with our heart. I mean, if you Google anything that's going on in your body and you want, does CBD help it? You're going to find now that there are studies out of different Colorado, has a great university study, and, Stanford, Harvard University, and Harvard Medical has some of the best studies coming out right now as far as CBD and how it works with our own endocannabinoid system.
Let's talk about some of your products and the benefits of. Now, you've given me pretty much everything on the table to try out over the last couple of years. And when you handed me the gel roll-on at the Sportsman Show, eventually I was like, gosh, it's sitting there on the counter. I got out of the shower one day, skin's hot, pores are open. I rolled that thing into my shoulder. I've been fighting this torn bicep tendon for 3 years. And it's restricted my ability to work out and be comfortable working out because of the pain. I put that on, Rick, for 3 days. And now, don't get me wrong, we're all not dumb enough to believe it fixed my torn bicep tendon. But what it did is it removed all the inflammation around that injury.
Yes.
So the nerves settle down. So I don't have the pain sensation constantly when I try to move, lift, or rotate my arm. The pain was gone. So I'm back in the gym. I'm lifting like I haven't lifted in years. Again, the injury is not resolved. And I may have to down the road take care of that. But the impact it had on the inflammation instantly, like within an hour, I was like, holy smokes. And that's really what this line of products is all about. Better health, pain relief through natural progression.
Yeah.
Yes.
One of the things we were also talking about, right, was like anti-nausea medication, right? You have problem with seasickness. I mean, even those that love to fish the ocean, they still have the affliction, right?
Yeah.
My wife is one of them.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's another thing that's really cool about this product, right? So it's not just anti-inflammation. There's other properties that work to your benefit as well.
So you got the lotions, which you rub on, you got the gel on the roller, you got the gummies, you got you got it in a pill form now too?
Yeah, we have it in the pill form.
Okay.
So, soft gels.
soft gels and the elixir or the
Tinctures.
tincture.
So
Okay.
what's cool about our tinctures, we had 1,800 milligrams in this little bottle.
Now that's for a full dispense dropper.
Yeah, the dropper
filled up.
If you fill it up, you're getting about 60 milligrams
Okay.
per dropper.
Oh,
The whole
gotcha.
bottle's got 1,800
Gotcha.
milligrams in it.
Okay. All right.
So what's cool about the dropper and the tincture, you put it underneath your tongue, it works into your bloodstream.
Yeah.
So into your bloodstream, it gets into the vital parts of your body,
Right.
Your liver and your kidneys, your heart. Look at the research they got going on for heart health and CBD.
Mhm.
Once you find and you read that, you're just going to want to take that just to have your insides feel a lot
Yeah.
better.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that's what I'm going to be doing is putting that in my coffee. I love that recommendation.
That's a great idea.
That is a great
Get
recommendation.
Get you going in the morning a little bit before
Yeah.
you go to bed at night. Helps you sleep too.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It's a
Yeah.
great sleep aid. So
It's a great sleep aid. It takes that anxiety level down.
Yeah.
If you're just over
Mhm. thinking, all right, can't shut the brain off.
Yep.
Well, we could talk about this for a long time, but we never have enough time.
Yeah.
So look up everything Rick Guerrero and People of Medicine have going on at www.peopleofthemedicine.earth of all things.
Earth. I love it.
Bring it home, brother. Yeah, that's
Absolutely.
fantastic. I want to thank you for coming in.
I appreciate you guys.
And
Thank you.
want people jump on the website and check everything out and give it a try. You will not be disappointed. Jumping out for a quick break. We come back. Bernie Cross and some walleye talk right here.
All Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why all boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. All Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. All Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Before you buy any boat, stop by or call Defiance Boats today to ensure you are getting the very best glass boat your money can buy.
Start your outdoor adventure at Sportgo and Outdoor Emporium, 2 locations with the best selection of name brand outdoor gear at affordable warehouse pricing. Over 60,000 different items to fit in your adventure, like Gamakatsu fishing gear, premium grade high carbon steel hooks, Gamakatsu custom designed fillet and boning knives to tackle and storage containers. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Maximize your outdoor adventure with the right gear at Sportgo and Outdoor Emporium, Fife and Seattle.
All right, welcome back here in studio. That was great.
That was awesome.
Quick in and out.
I love talking about health and wellness too. We got to do this more often.
Well, and it's there's no BS here. I mean, we're not gonna support, endorse, or show what Rick's got going on unless we
Right.
truly believe in it. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
man, my shoulder is like unbelievable. You guys need to really get online and check out the products they got going on. Give them a try. You're gonna be pleased with the results. All right. Want to introduce our next guest for today's program, Mr. Vern Cross, Real-Time Fishing, www.realtimefishing.com. And hey, nice shirt there, Vern. Way to strap on the
That looks
uniform,
good.
buddy. Thanks, Aaron. Dwayne, you got it from you, bud.
Yeah, you got it.
Down at the Steelhead Expo, and you guys were down there in Lewiston.
Yeah, we had a great time. So, hey, so this time of the year, you're busy chasing walleye, Columbia River or Tri-Cities area, I think you told me. And right now, though, you're fishing at night. Basically, most of your trips you're running for walleye right now are under the cover of darkness. Exactly where are you fishing, or how's the fishing been?
The fishing's been pretty good. Right now, I've been fishing a few different places right here locally in Tri-Cities, and then I'll do a lot of it too below McNary in the Umatilla Pool.
Okay.
And we're doing a few different tactics at night right now. We're targeting mainly at night. You can do good in the daytime too for these larger trophy-sized walleye, but we're mainly targeting them at night. And they're on the spawn right now. They're they're pretty aggressive this time of year, and we mainly just troll plugs for them, cast a little bit of swim baits, but the main game is trolling right now at night, and it's pretty effective, and seems like a small window of opportunity for these larger trophy sized fish, and it's generally during the spawn this time of year. And so
gotcha.
We like to troll these bandit plugs. They're a deep diving plug, and we generally like to troll them in anywhere from 10 to 30 feet of water. And we like to troll them really slow, put them back behind the boat a good ways. I generally put them back about 150 feet behind my boat. And
oh, that's quite a ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of ways. The water's really, really cold this time of year. So if you can get those plugs moving really slow and away from the boat, you're going to have a lot more success. And pretty much I like to use bandits just because they dive really deep. They're really loud, and they're sharp. They're good plugs.
Yeah. Right on.
That is awesome. Bernie, I did not even know that nighttime walleye fishing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've heard it for catfishing, and I get that. But I mean, it totally makes sense when you look at the anatomy of a walleye and you got that big glass eye, right, collecting all of the light in the water column.
That's a good point.
It totally makes sense to me. So kind of run down the logistics for us. So these are night trips. What time do you leave the launch? How far do you have to run? How long do these trips last? Kind of break that down for us.
Generally I fish for a full 8 hours on these trips. You're out there to catch fish. There's no limit on walleye, and some nights are really productive and you'll catch a lot of fish, and other nights you might only catch a couple. But generally we start about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we fish till midnight, 1 in the morning. And we just troll out of the shallow waters in search of these big monster fish. And pretty much it's hard to say. Like I fish at a few different places, and some nights one place will fish better than the other one, and so I'm bouncing back and forth. If one's fishing consistently and steady, I'll stay there until it's not fishing consistently anymore. And pretty much that's about it with the walleye. We also like to cast a lot of these swim baits at night for them, just a little grub and swim bait, and just pretty much just move them really, really slowly. Like you said, these walleye are night fish. They're nocturnal. They're usually feeding more at night. They're a little more aggressive, and it seems like just your chances of catching those big ones are a lot better at night. It's cold some nights. Usually we start in January, sometimes December, but January, February, March, I mean, it's cold out there, but those fish,
yeah, right. Yeah, I can imagine.
Hey, so you're talking about trolling those big plugs. They make a lot of noise. They dive deep and slow troll. I mean, what's the speed on that troll when you say slow? You got them big deep divers and the water's cold.
So I troll them as slow as I can go. Sometimes I'll deploy my electric Minn Kota off the bow, and I'll pull them like 0.7. And sometimes when the water starts to warm up later in the year, you can pull them a little bit faster and you can get them down a little bit deeper, but about as slow as you can go with them, with seeing that rod tip wiggle and know that your plug's working.
Gotcha. So what about your trolling plugs? How about doing any bottom walkers, worm rigs, and things like that? You're also casting for them, but is it mostly a plug
at
fill?
night I mainly pull plugs and cast. In the daytime, when we start to troll for them, we'll pull bottom walkers in the daytime.
Okay.
Snag myself over here.
Gotcha.
So I can get it out of here. But basically, we're pulling these little smile blades, a little fish pill, and a double hook rig. And we like to pull them on a 4-ounce bottom walker. I like the 4 ounces. They get down deep. They drag the bottom really well. And we tip them with a night crawler. And pretty much what we do in the daytime, we like to target a little bit deeper water in the daytime. Anywhere from 30 to, actually more like 60 to 30 feet generally this time of year.
Okay. What's the we're going to jump out for a quick break here, but real quick, what's the water temp right now?
Right now the water temp's 41 degrees.
Okay. All right, but don't go anywhere, because I know talking with you, you're going to be transitioning to daytime fishing here before too long. So we want to get into that little technique change and some things to look forward to. So bounce out for a quick break. We'll be back with more with Vern Cross and Walleye Fishing right after this. Defiance Marine is the one-stop shop for the Pacific Northwest angler. Defiance Marine guarantees the best price on a new and best service on a repower for your current boat. Defiance Marine is a Honda Premier dealership and one of the largest on the West Coast. Defiance Marine is a boat dealer who proudly sells Defiance, Allied, and Arima boats. All boats are built by West Coast fishermen for West Coast fishermen. Defiance Marine has all your boating needs to help you get out on the water.
The Northwest premier upland bird hunting destination. Located along the beautiful Umatilla River in eastern Oregon. Fully guided bird hunts with expert guides and top-notch dogs. Enjoy comfortable accommodations and gourmet meals at the Riverview Lodge. Book your sensational hunting experience with Horseshoe Curve Outdoors.
All right, welcome back here to the program. Still on with Vernie Cross, real-time fishing, and we're talking walleye. Now we're switching gears, Vern, jumping from the nighttime activities, and you're going to start leaning in more a little on the daytime opportunity. When do you start that, and where are you going to be fishing? Do you change location, or is it pretty much same type of program?
Well, we fish a lot out of Lions Ferry, out of the KOA, and we generally start at about daylight, which is 6:30, 7 o'clock right now.
Yeah.
And we do a lot too in the Umatilla pool as well. And most of all we do in the daytime is we do pull some plugs. Sometimes we'll pull plugs just like we do at night, and it can offer a lot of success as well. Pretty much the same tactics, pull them pretty slow, find some shallower water where you're going to get those plugs down to the bottom. Most of these walleye, you're going to find them on the bottom of the river. You'll catch them suspended too, but more times than not, you're going to find them right there on the bottom of the river. When we're not pulling plugs, like I said earlier, we like to just pull these little smile blades. This is a 1.5 with a double hook rig. We tip it with a night crawler back here. I like to throw a little Potskis fire gel on there. And
yeah.
We just drag them on the bottom really slow. We don't usually use our gas motor very much when we're trolling, and we mainly use our electric Minn Kota off the bow. And we drag them, same thing, as slow as we can. Get these lures in their face a little longer than if you're just zipping it right by real quick. And we're trolling downstream with these generally. The bandits and the plugs, we pull them upstream.
Oh, interesting.
And, yeah, so we troll downstream, bottom walkers, little smile blade. We can also use like a 3.0 or 3.5 spinner blade. Those work really well as well. And then generally, if I find an area where I'm catching a lot of walleye when I'm trolling down with these bottom walkers, I will stop my trolling and I will start jigging for them. And we use a few different kind of jigs. You can use a slim bait like I showed earlier, but I use these. They're called a ghost jig. They're made by Vertical Custom Jigs. They're 3/4 ounce and 1/2 ounce. And basically, once you find these walleye, you can sit there and jig on top of them. You drop this jig straight to the bottom. There's a little trailer hook that comes off of them. It's right here. It's kind of like the double hook rig on the small blade. You can tip this with a night crawler as well. And you jig these Vertical Custom Jigs just right off the bottom, real slow up and down. And you'll catch a lot of fish on these once you find them. But generally, we don't bust out the jigs until we find those fish, at least in my boat.
Yeah. Do you put a night crawler on those?
Effective. Yes, you tip them with a night crawler.
Okay. All right, that's so. Yeah.
Man, that is a good looking jig. Maybe we can get Jordan to make some of those.
Make us some walleye.
Yeah,
there you go.
They have another one called Whistle Pigs. They got like a little metal blade. That's kind of the more traditional one that a lot of walleye guys use, but I like these ones a little bit more.
Right on.
And yeah, basically we troll. Some days you'll find them real shallow, but like I said earlier, you generally find them in between like 30 and 50 feet of water.
So talk to us a little bit more, Vernie, about finding those fish. Are you using electronics, or is it just like the spots they're in? Maybe talk to us about the spots. Like how do I find a walleye spot? Where do they like to go?
So that's the one thing about walleye fishing is you'll find a spot one day where you'll find a bunch of walleye and they'll bite really well, and then you'll go back to it the next day and they're not there. They're a moving fish. They're looking for that bait and that prey, and that's one of the hard things about those walleyes. You never know exactly where they're going to be. They're a traveling fish, but generally I look for softer water and where you got a little bit of a current break, kind of like with salmon, steelhead, and like this time of year when we start to fish at Lions Ferry, I find a lot of them right on the outside on the Snake, on the Palouse River, and also the Toucan River, right out in the mouths of them. They congregate in those little areas for a few weeks at that time of the year. Well, this time of year, and then they'll kind of just spread out on the entire river, and you'll find them just about everywhere. So you just kind of go out, you'll hunt with these bottom walkers until you find them, and then just keep doing laps on top of them and keep fishing them.
Yeah.
Right on.
So your color choice, I mean, we got a lot of options, you know, chartreuses, bright oranges, greens, and things work well for walleye. So as we get a little deeper into the spring, and, you know, we got a lot of little other types of biomass of fish in the Columbia River, a lot of spiny rays. So once those fish start spawning, you got your smallmouth and some other contributors, and those walleye start feeding on those small fry that have hatched out. Are you trying to match the hatch? You're trying to put in sequence of smile blades and beads combinations that
you can absolutely. That does help matching the hatch. One thing I noticed too is once those walleye start to get really full on all those smolt and the other feed, it becomes a little bit tougher to catch them. They're not as hungry. They're not as active. I still pretty much any color will work. I like green a lot. If it's I always say if it's chartreuse, it's good. But you know, blacks, chrome and silver. If you find a plug that matches the hatch that you're catching, it will help your success rate a lot.
Gotcha.
There's also a lot of tiny micro shrimp in the river that these walleye eat. I'll pull a walleye out of really deep water and they'll spit out their air bladder, and you'll see little shrimp all over the boat. They're just really tiny little shrimp. So it's
now
just
that I did not know.
Where they're at.
Usually I thought they ate crawfish too.
Yeah. I didn't know there was that type of biomass of shrimp in the Columbia River, but okay.
Yeah, there is. They eat pretty much whatever they can get those sharp teeth on. Salmon,
makes sense. They are a predator. So
other walleye.
Vern, you got openings coming up, trips that you can book over the next several months for folks to jump on board?
Yep, we'll be fishing walleye from now all the way until pretty much the fall time. And one of the best months to go and catch like a bunch of eater-sized fish for us. We like to fish a lot in June, July.
Yeah.
But we're pretty much starting right now. We're already having success with catching walleye, big ones and eaters in the daytime. So we've got, in fact, I've got a one angler April or March 25th, and we're looking for a few more. So if anybody wants to hop on with Real Time, you can give us a call and come out fish with us. But yeah, we've got a lot of openings. So
fantastic. Well, we'll have folks dial you up at realtimefishing.com and ask for Bernie Cross and get on your boat and get out there and have some excitement and take home some really good taste and eat.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they're a wonderful eating fish.
Oh, phenomenal. Yep.
They are.
All right, Bernie, appreciate you jumping on, buddy. It was great to finally get you on the show.
Appreciate you having me, and I appreciate talking with you guys with walleye, and thanks Fish Hunt.
You got it. We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Take care. All right, he is Bernie Cross, Real Time Fishing. Check him out, www.realtimefishing.com. Jumping out for a quick break. We come back, some blackmouth, South Puget Sound, Tommy. South Puget Sound, blackmouth fishing in the Allied Mustang right after this break.
A Northwest favorite for almost 40 years, Arima boats are manufactured with pride in Bremerton, Washington. All Arima boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why Arima boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. Arima can offer every boat with Honda outboard packages so that you can take advantage of the reliability and 5-year top-to-prop warranty from your Honda outboard. Call or stop by Arima boats today and let them help you get into your very next boat.
You haven't been here, but you know it. You've heard the sounds, smelt the air, and seen where your heart lands, if not yet. You haven't been here, but you've longed for a destination near or far. A place where discovery and history thrive for young eyes and old alike. You haven't been here, but you're on your way to a place not far. ExploreTheDalles.com.
I make my living catching fish, not only as a tournament angler, but as a guide as well. Catching fish is important, and Gamakatsu hooks for me, you know, they kind of help take the luck out of fishing a little bit just because they're a high quality hook. Obviously have a really good reputation for being very strong and very sharp. Gamakatsu, I use their products every day in the boat, and, you know, big part of my success.
Get my rigs right here. So this rod at times may be fishing elevated out back, but it's, you know, it's still fishing, and we can get those fish that aren't necessarily hugging the bottom. So it's always a good alternative. Now in the summertime, we'll fish that way higher because those fish are suspended way up, especially coho and once the pinks get in and whatnot. So, but let's start this one out the back with a herring.
And what is that in?
Just a lot. It's mostly natural fire brine, but it's got just a little bit of blue to it because I knew it'd be sunny this morning, and it's got anise on there. So these red labels will fit into these anchovy helmets real nice. The green labels are a little too big, but the bait size out here right now is pretty small. So we want to run, and then we're just going to stick that around the dorsal fin. Put a little bend on that bad boy. And I'm running a small rotating flasher. I'm going to see how that looks in the water. We may just run bait, no flasher, but these little ones.
And the bend is to get it so it's spinning in the water?
So it spins, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so there's not a ton of action on that rotating flasher, but there's just enough, a little bit of a kick. That's why I don't run a full 11-inch back there. And you can choose to run them with you can just run bait back there too, but I'm gonna zero out my line counter just so I know exactly how far out that's gonna go. Want to let it out kind of slow so you don't wrap it up on itself. So what's our depth?
58, 57 feet?
Yeah, okay, look at all that bait on the bottom. There's a ton of bait down there.
What's the difference between these two other than the color?
Herring versus anchovy.
Oh.
Checking the rods, we're at 73 in the depth. Slight turn on this bad boy. All right, well, hey guys, good morning. Dwayne England, Fish Out Northwest. My buddy Newman. So, first time out here on the new boat?
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice.
We just got the troll going. We're running, what did I put on here? Anchovy, and running a herring out the back, red label, small, on a 20-ounce cannonball, achieving depth on a third rod. I haven't mounted my third downrigger yet, so I'm just trying to get a little wider spread here this morning. We're running a 3.5 Silver Horde Kingfisher spoon. Of course, it's herring aid. And as you guys know, we got the Potsy's Fire Gel on there. And marking a little bait here in the bay this morning, Newman, so I'm hopeful. Bit cold. It was 30 degrees at the house this morning.
There was ice on the boat this morning.
Completely iced over, yeah. I had to throw the little buddy heater in the cabin just to get it warmed up to melt the ice on the windows. So anyhow, we are on the water now. Beautiful morning ahead. The weather is going to change a little bit. We got some clouds coming in. We got a little wind by afternoon. We got about a 12-foot tide change. So, yeah, we'll see what we can do. We're going to fish a better part of the morning into early afternoon. Probably get out of here before we can't get the boat out due to the almost zero tide. Okay, that's about all we got going. Let's catch some fish. Here we go.
Let's go.
This is on the spoon. Yeah. Huh. There you go. He's up on the surface now. Our depth 88. Okay, we're good. We are good. Okay, you're gonna go behind me. Yeah, this might be a legal fish, yeah, if it's not a wild. Oop. There you go. Okay, handle up in the air, so we don't bonk anybody behind us. You see, it's got a fin. That's a clean back.
And it doesn't look like it has a fin.
Yeah, let's see. That's a fish.
Yep.
Let's keep it. Drop that in the boat. Yeah. There we go.
Nice.
Okay, well there we go, Newman.
Nice fish.
That is legitimately, as we see, first blood in the boat. Took us 3 trips out here to get past shakers, but this is a solid 24 and a half inch fish, so well within the legal limit. Nice size blackmouth for this time of year. As you see, we're not marking a ton of fish, but when we do, they are right on the bottom, right?
Yep.
And I turned the corner and this downrigger started bumping a little, so I picked it up 2 feet. And I turn around to look at this one and that rod's going off. So on the turn, the gear dropped and this dude was laying down there. So.
And you caught it on the herring aid.
Herring aid spoon on this one, yep. All right, in the bag we go.
You haven't been here, but you know it. You've heard the sounds, smelt the air, and seen where your heart lands, if not yet. You haven't been here, but you've longed for a destination near or far, where the young and old find rest and excitement, not apart. You haven't been here, but you're on your way to a place not far. ExploreTheDalles.com.
Yep, for sure. Oh yeah, big fish. Yeah, buddy. Nice fish. Oh, beauty. Gorgeous fish.
Bobby's on the board.
We got a good one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, oh, geez, come on.
Nice fish. Nice fish.
All Defiance boats are built without any structural wood materials. That is why all boats are backed with a lifetime warranty. All Defiance boats come standard with large fish boxes that are fully insulated so that you can ice your fish properly all day. All Defiance boats are foam flotation filled and unsinkable for the ultimate in safety while fishing offshore. Before you buy any boat, stop by or call Defiance Boats today to ensure you are getting the very best glass boat your money can buy.
All right guys, so we're out here on the troll and we just took a big turn out here, dropping back in, getting on our line, and so I'm kind of navigating. I want to get out to this 70 to 80 water, and sure I can steer, but when I get on the troll and I'm minding the gear and paying attention, you know, the Ray Marine autopilot, and this is the Axiom 2 Pro next generation, which we'll get into more of that as we move on, but you know, engaging your autopilot is so easy. Just pull it up on the side screen. I hit the depth button, engage. Now there you go. It's showing me GPS heading in my black line and true travel direction in my blue. And the closer those come together, the closer I am on course with the heading of my boat. You'll see the deviation of that blue line if you're getting pushed by, say, current or wind. You'll see true trajectory. Even if your boat is crabbing, it's showing you exactly where your boat's lined up to go. Now we're in 82 feet of water, so I got 10-degree variance on my turn here. And every time I hit that, it's another 10 degrees towards my starboard. And now you can see the separation. The actual bow location is on the black. The blue will catch up as we swing more towards the starboard here, get to the depth that we want to be in. So I can continue to touch that now. The nice thing is I can hands off, just kind of, you know, look out front, make sure you're not going to run into anybody out here. This time of year there's not a lot of people, but it's good practice in that I can control the boat via the touch screen. I can mind the gear, I can raise and lower as I need to, be mindful of my depth and my troll speed, looking at my line angle. It's just so much easier when we're on the autopilot on the troll. Got a double. You're still there?
Feels like it.
Huh?
Feels like it.
We just went through a pile of bait at 100 feet.
Yep.
I mean, a pile. It was stacked up. Yeah. Feels like another decent fish. Forget it. We'll unhook him. He's close, but he's not. No, not the net. Hand me the bar. There you go. Yep. Oh. Oh, is he 22? He grabbed that anchovy. He might be right at 22, but here, buddy. Here we go. Got to flip him upside down. Wow, how about that? A double. That guy was close. He's probably 2021, but double A.
Yeah, there we go.
On the boat, we got one on the spoon, one on the anchovy. Went through a pile of bait right there. Both rods just basically started. We were in 100, 110.
Yeah, 110.
Right on the deck, dragging. Just adjusted the downrigger. So, yeah, good one to end on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so there we go. Just opened up this fish and went right to its stomach and cut it and pushed out all the fish. He's got 2 or 3 anchovy in there. And you look at the size of that 3.5 kingfisher. Yeah, I know this is herring aid, but proportionate size to the bait that's actually swimming in here. So we have quite a bit more anchovy in South Sound in, I don't know, the last 5, 8, 10 years. There's an abundance of them, and we're marking a lot of bait balls on the electronics. Pretty indicative of it being, you know, balls of anchovy down there. And Newman, we went through that big cloud of bait, and we got that double. Yeah, they're both sublegals, but one hit the anchovy over here, the other one hit the spoon, and they both worked. So, you know, this time of year with the size of this bait in here, nothing wrong with that 3.5. And those were the only 2 sublegals we got today, and it wasn't like they're little shakers. They were
good sized fish.
Decent size, almost legal. So 3.5 right now. As we roll into April, might bounce that to a 4 just to stay off any sublegal. But I think a lot of those are flushing out. We're going to have more adult fish in here than anything. Next couple weeks and all the way through the month of April, it's going to be pretty good out here, as well as up north. So, like what I'm seeing here, going to continue to run this size of attraction. Clean out bloodline. A little spoon here. These Gamakatsu knives are pretty nice. They got a good grip on the handle, and I do like the spoon on here for cleaning purposes. Yeah.
That spoon's pretty handy.
Yeah. There we are. Wash now.
Watch me sway, darkness falls, and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river. Oh, bury me, carry me, beneath, fire and water me, going down deep, say, bury me, carry me, fire beneath, fire and water me, washing me clean, kerosene creek.
The Northwest premier upland bird hunting destination. Located along the beautiful Umatilla River in eastern Oregon. Fully guided bird hunts with expert guides and top-notch dogs. Enjoy comfortable accommodations and gourmet meals at the Riverview Lodge. Book your sensational hunting experience with Horseshoe Curve Outdoors.
Start your outdoor adventure at Sportgo and Outdoor Emporium, 2 locations with the best selection of name brand outdoor gear at affordable warehouse pricing. Over 60,000 different items to fit in your adventure, like Gamakatsu fishing gear, premium grade high carbon steel hooks, Gamakatsu custom designed fillet and boning knives to tackle and storage containers. Gamakatsu, simply the best. Maximize your outdoor adventure with the right gear at Sportgo and Outdoor Emporium, Fife and Seattle.
All right, welcome back here. So a little blackmouth fishing out there, South Sound.
Man, the sidewall on that guy was fat. And look at all the bait.
Yeah.
You saw a lot of bait in the water.
A lot of bait in the water, a lot of bait in his stomach. I cut it open right away and emptied the contents. And I was talking anchovy because there's a bunch of anchovy heads there. That one that I put the spoon next to was actually a herring, but it's still size applicable, right? That 3.5 is a good size match right now. Yeah. And you're right in there. So anyway, we got to talk some sea lions here. So Tommy, we've been complaining and just looking for some action here and support on this pinniped overtake for the last 10 plus years, 15 years. And it comes relevant once again as folks are out there on the water posting videos, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And I downloaded that one from YouTube. It was videoed by 23 Thunderjet. I don't know who that is, but want to give them credit for capturing that video. It shows once again this past week all the sea lions in the Columbia River. That's just at the Cowlitz. That's just one location. Go ahead and roll that film again, Jordan, just for anybody that joined us late. All right, it won't play, so no big deal. Anyway, getting back to that. So the abundance of them things in river 70 miles from the salt water is concerning.
Anybody that saw that video earlier should be just absolutely livid at that, because and the reason for that is because what you're seeing is the repeated year after year mismanagement of a predator that is absolutely out of control. And right now they're eating small, right?
Yeah.
But what's happening next, right? What's coming in right behind it?
Spring Chinook right there.
Okay. And then they're going to annihilate those. You're going to walk us through some numbers here, but I just want to mention that when you think about the billions of dollars that we put into, really bringing back the species, right? Bringing back salmon and steelhead.
Yep.
And then to watch it just be pissed down the drain because we're not managing California sea lions is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. So you're in two camps when it comes to sea lions and pinnipeds in general, either Columbia River or Puget Sound throughout the state of Washington, and it's affecting Oregon as well. You're either, paying attention to the science and facts and data, or your emotional response, right? And that's what we're really up against is a higher percentage of us who do not fish, hunt, and want to, pet these fur babies with big puppy dog eyes in the water. You're all about emotion. Well, and in the banter on even our Facebook page of persons coming to the defense of these sea mammals that have no business in a freshwater environment. Look, I can roll back to 2015. And the reason I do is because when I was doing radio, we were talking about the same exact impact.
That's right, 10 years ago.
10 years ago. So 10 years ago, the spring Chinook returned to the Columbia River is 289,000 fish. Now, you can look up data that would indicate that the sea lions have an impact on returning fish within the confines of the Columbia River of 10 to 20%. Let's use a soft target compromise of 15%, Tommy. On that run that year, they would have consumed 43,000 spring Chinook. Okay. Angler effort, the recreational fleet, as it were, on the Columbia River in pursuit of spring Chinook that same year We harvested 13,400. So we are efficient enough to harvest about 5% of the overall take. They're at 15 on a soft landing. You know, they're outdoing us 3 to 1. 3 to 1. And it's not like it's gotten better since 2015. We have more of them in the rivers now than ever.
We do. We do. I mean, when I was a kid growing up, this was never even a thing. So it's just, you know, and now you look at that California sea lion population that's this close to 300,000. I mean, it's just out of control. You know, so you know, one of the things that we've been following is House Joint Memorial 4004. Right. And it's interesting because when you look at the support structure for this bill, you have, you know, the overwhelming support is all negative, right? It's against the bill
for sure,
because it talks about actually managing the problem, and the people that really have that negative approach to this bill, it's all emotional, right? They don't want to be bothered with the facts and data of what's actually happening with the degradation of our salmon runs. And so really, you know, what this bill is asking for, House Joint Memorial 4004, is it's asking federal assistance to say, hey, look, you know, you got this Marine Mammal Act, but we have a huge problem here in the state of Washington and the state of Oregon, and we need your help to let the state manage our predation problem with pinnipeds, and let us manage and control them so that we can actually help our salmon and steelhead runs.
For sure, 100% accurate. And so get away of the emotional response, pay attention to the data and the science. You're right, Memorial 404 needs assistance. It just came back after second hearing. I'm going to follow up on the legislative website to see where it's landing next. But we're asking everyone to contact your state legislators. Simply go to Google, put in, you know, who is my state representative, and put in your zip code. It's going to direct you to the site. It can't be any easier than that. We need a huge influx of folks jumping on board. Contact your representatives, tell them to support, you know, and drive Memorial 4004 home and get it into the hands of the Fed so they can realign the 1972 Marine Mammal Protection Act and get some work done. Jumping out for a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Allied, the new leader in heavy gauge aluminum boats. Allied boats have standard reverse chine and lifting rakes to help you plane faster and run at lower RPMs. Allied boats have several models to choose from, ranging from a 19-foot Mustang all the way up to a 32-foot Liberator. So regardless of what type of heavy gauge aluminum boats you are looking for, Allied Boats will have it for you. Contact Allied Boats today to learn more about these incredible fishing machines.
You haven't been here, but you know it. You've heard the sounds, smelt the air, and seen where your heart lands, if not yet. You haven't been here, but you've longed for a destination near or far, a place where discovery and history thrive for young eyes and old alike. You haven't been here, but you're on your way to a place not far. ExploreTheDalles.com.
All right, welcome back. That's going to do it, man. Way too much info, never enough time. Have a great week. Have a great weekend. Get outdoors, get something done. We'll see you next time right here, Fish on Northwest.